Hi, my name is Jim Brule, and I'd like to share a story with you from my life. It's an intriguing story, I think. It happened to me several years ago. My wife, my elder daughter, and I, along with a couple, were very fortunate. We were able to travel to Nepal for a short period of time, take kind of a whirlwind tour of that ancient and rugged country. We spent most of our time in the Kathmandu Valley, looking at the oldest temple in Nepal, Changu Narayan, went to the ancient city of Bhaktapur. But this event happened as we were taking a hike through the foothills of the Himalayas, or what they call the Himalayas. Now, we were walking with a guide, really out pretty much in the middle of nowhere. And there were small villages here and there, and homes, houses or huts on occasion, but we were pretty much off the beaten path. And as you hike through these foothills, you see that from time to time, up on the hill, there might be a orange flag. And that means that there's a Buddhist temple up there. It's an indicator that there's a temple. And if you are hiking for a long time and you feel the need to go up and pray in a Buddhist temple, well, that's your marker. We were walking down a particularly beautiful trail, and at the top of a particularly steep hill, all we could see was an orange flag. We couldn't see the temple it was attached to, just the flag there fluttering in the wind. So we decided, our friend, one of our friends, my daughter and I, to climb the hill and to see what was up there. So leaving the guide with my wife and our other friend, we headed up to the top of the hill. Now, as we crested the top of the hill, this young man in his early 20s came racing over to us, and in fluent English, and I have to say, fluent English is not something you typically find in Nepal, came running over, hands outstretched. You're here, we've been waiting for you, we're so glad you finally arrived. With a look of utter recognition on his face, as if we were exactly who he had been expecting to see. Of course, we hadn't been expecting to see him at all. This is a random stop. So as we got to the top of the hill and caught our breath a little bit, we said, I don't know who you were thinking was coming. It's certainly not us. We're just wandering through the foothills here. And he said, oh, no, 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 no. The guru is expecting you. He's very glad that you've finally arrived. We looked at each other, filled with amazement, really, and looked over to the temple to which the flag was attached, and saw that it was somewhat in disrepair. Said kind of quietly to each other, they're looking for money. And so I said, I don't know who you think was coming, but it really wasn't us. He looked me dead in the eye and he said, no, you're from New York, aren't you? You're the ones we've been expecting. Well, we are from New York. And while in retrospect it might have been a ploy, it didn't feel like it at the moment. It felt like he was genuinely recognizing us. And he hurried us over. He said, you must meet the guru. The guru has some questions for you. I don't know about you, but when I think of visiting a guru, I think of asking the guru questions, not the guru asking me questions. So this notion of being hustled over quickly to the guru to answer the guru's questions, recognized without having been expected at all, it was very confusing. And my mind started to wander. I said, what possibly could the guru be asking? And so as I hesitated, the man looked back to me and says, no, 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 it's not about money. He's got some important questions to ask you. So we walked over to the the ramshackle temple. And we looked inside, and sure enough, there was this old bearded man sitting cross-legged in front of a simple stove. And I thought, what is he going to ask me? And I ask you, if you were in that moment of suddenly being thrust into a situation of which you had no expectation, where somebody comes up to you and says, you have something very important that you can tell me. Will you please share that with me? Will you tell me the answer to my questions? What question do you think they would be asking you? What is it that you have that you know about that is uniquely yours to share? Well, I won't tell you what the guru asked me, except to say that it was a complete surprise. Instead, I invite you to think, what is it that you carry within yourself that a guru would want to know? Thanks for listening.